right now. All right,
Get
so
all
we
my
live
itching
on.
underwear.
So we live on YouTube right now, and we are about to be live right now on Facebook.
Tag my photography page so I can share
Okay.
it if you can.
Yeah, if I can. Hold on. Yeah. I will. All right, bro. So we live, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
we are live. I'm here with the dopest photographer. I don't care what no one
Yeah.
says. The dopest photographer in the South. I, can we say the East Coast, especially with everything that just
Right.
happened?
Nationwide, I guess,
Na- Nationwide. What's
Yeah,
going on,
I want
Justin?
to take it big. Nothing. I'm tired. I'm ready to sit down and chill. I've been moving around all day. What's
I
going
bet.
on with you?
Nothing much, man. One of them days it was busy. They always busy,
Yeah,
man. Always
I
busy. It's
know.
never a dull moment. As much as I want to chill on Sundays, I spend my Sundays getting ready for my the rest of my week. What about you?
I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. All right, so check this out. This kind of interesting fact that happened to me yesterday. So
Okay.
I got an addiction therapist. That I had in South Carolina for 5 years,
Hmm.
and then I've been seeing this therapist in Atlanta who does like trauma.
Okay.
So she told me last week. She was like, I don't know. I have a very good sign that you autistic. Your picture went away. I have a very good sign that
Hey,
you
man.
autistic. Oh, there you go.
I just joined the call.
We're live, Randy. It's good to see you.
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm doing
Yeah, we
good.
live. There he is.
So
What's
you
up, Randy?
What do you say,
You say what?
Justin G?
Not much. Just hanging out.
so
Attaboy.
so real quick, Randy, let me catch you up to speed. Justin was telling us a little bit about a situation he had yesterday.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Oh
Justin.
yeah, yeah. So I got an addiction therapist for 5 years in South Carolina, and then I got a therapist for trauma, or what I mean, trauma stuff to try to get rid of some of my trauma.
Yeah.
And she told me the other week, she's like, I got a good sign that you autistic, and I said, autistic. So I did this 5 hour evaluation yesterday, right? Had to fill out questionnaires, paperwork, talk to her. She had to talk to my mom, my dad. I'm autistic. I
Are
know,
you?
right?
That's okay. You know
Yeah, I'm
what?
like, no, I'm like for real. But you know what though? You get like Elon Musk and all those billionaires and stuff, and they all billionaires. So I asked her, I'm like, well then where the hell my goddamn check? Where my check coming?
You know, and that's okay because you know what? You're in good
Huh.
company because Kayshawn and myself are both retarded.
Ah.
Yeah,
You're in good
yeah,
company, bud.
yeah. Especially if you're talking about marketing, because I have the slightest idea. I don't know anything about marketing. So you're right. When it comes down to
Yeah.
marketing, I'm slow as I don't know what.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what
The
is?
key with being a good marketer is being hooked on really good drugs for a
Oh
long
yeah.
period of time.
Yeah, I was gonna say
And then, like I said,
Adderall
when you're
was
doing
my
mushrooms,
fault.
when you're
And
doing
I
mushrooms and the pink elephants are coming, okay, you start getting a whole picture of what the world is really like. Okay.
Wow.
I never
Justin,
I never did mushrooms before, but I take your word for it.
hold on.
I've done a lot of Adderall though. Like you said, if you got to do some serious work, pop an Adderall, you'll work for 12 hours straight.
Well, it's funny because I would say too, I was telling Kashan, when I worked for a big beer company in Canada, okay, like one
What
of
a
the
wonderful
one of the
job.
huge conglomerates in Canada, they used to feed us cocaine and Adderall
Yeah,
because
that's how.
with
Well, you know what?
cocaine,
As an
cocaine will keep you working for days,
Yeah, and
and
the Adderall keep
Adderall
you
will just keep your
concentrated.
your moods going, right?
Yeah, but I was gonna say, as a recovering addict from alcohol and cocaine, or Adderall and cocaine, that sounds like a wonderful fucking job.
You know what? And I tell people this. They say I said the reason I don't do cocaine anymore is because I like it too much.
Exactly. Oh, I had the Peruvian, especially.
Oh fuck yeah!
Ooh.
Hold
You
on,
know,
guys. Hold on. First of all, I am outnumbered, and I'm happy to be outnumbered. But
Sometimes you need to be happy you outnumbered, you know?
yeah,
don't get
in
it.
this regards, I am outnumbered. But when you say, is that the same for any addiction? Like any addiction that would bring, I guess, harm to you? Do you stop it because you like it too much? Hold on, Justin, you go first, and
Well,
then
because
Randy.
what happens is
Yeah, go
cocaine
ahead.
becomes. Not only do you become dependent on cocaine, but you get dependent on the emotion that cocaine drives. So
Yeah. He's
without it,
right.
without it, you don't even feel human anymore. It becomes who you are.
Yeah.
The drug becomes. I read my daughter sent me a note one time years ago, and it's about a lady who was in prison, and she was recovering from heroin, and
I
she
never
was.
did that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I
but
can't
I've never done
remember.
heroin. I've never done it
No,
before, but
me
I heard
either.
some
Me
like
either. But
I heard it was like the best feeling you ever had in your life.
oh, for sure, I imagine it would be. But she was writing this as if she was the drug.
Yeah.
She says, you're going to become this way, and you're going to become this way because this is the way I want you. And eventually, you're not going to be human anymore. You're just going to be what I want you to be.
Oh, I like the way how she said that though, because that's exactly how it is.
Right? And eventually, she had written all this out into a huge story,
Yeah.
and then she committed suicide in jail.
Oh, that's crazy. She did.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's
that's were
crazy.
her last words. And I thought, anyways, it went viral on on Facebook, and my daughter sent it to me, and I thought, you know what, that's probably the best interpretation of it that I've ever heard.
I've never
You
heard
know,
that before. Like that's exactly it to a T though. It's right. Like I'm gonna sit here and form and mold you into what I want you to be.
and that's exactly what it is. So you're
Yeah,
not
I
really.
mean it's a lot of fun too, but I do not miss it now.
No, me either. And it's funny. I told Kashan, when I left the beer company, um, I had no more money and I had no more drugs.
Yeah.
Okay, and I knew that the crash was coming. I knew that was going to happen. So it was a Friday night, and I checked into the Selby Hotel in Toronto. And the only reason I checked into the Selby Hotel was because they locked the doors from the outside.
True. Same with my
So
rehab. You could not get out unless they let you out.
so there's no windows. There's only one door. There was a broken toilet and a mattress on the ground, and no TV, no nothing. And I checked in there for the weekend, and I just figured I'd rough it out.
That's crazy.
And then on Monday morning at 10 o'clock, I walked out, and I figured I'm cured.
Let me ask you a
Did it
question,
work though?
Yeah, I never went
Justin.
back to it since.
Justin, was
Right.
it the same for you when you went through your recovery?
When I went to rehab, yeah, it's the same thing. You walk in, they check your asshole, check your nuts, make sure you ain't got a cough for me. Then you get sent in a detox. We had windows all over the place. You could walk right up and see the whole campus, but like
Yeah,
Randy say, there was locks on the door, so there's no getting out. They'd have to come open the door for you. Which you know what? That was a bad feeling. It sucked. It felt like you was in like jail, but you could
yeah.
actually move around and you didn't have to lay in your cell for 12 hours before they let you out. You could move around, watch TV, mingle, but I mean, it kind of sucked in detox because you
But
just couldn't
the
you
result,
couldn't
the
walk out the
result of
door and smoke.
what I did and what you did is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the end result is still the same thing.
Yeah, but you said
It's
you
just
had no windows. I'd go crazy.
well, the reason they took the windows out is because people would throw themselves out windows.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So what they did was they just bricked up the windows
Hmm.
so you couldn't get out, and the door wasn't a wooden door; it was a steel door.
Yeah,
So you couldn't fucking get out anyway, even if you wanted to.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. So, for someone who's never used drugs, the thing is, what would your advice be? Is it like, hey, yo, just stay away from it? Just don't even do it? Is it that strong of a grip on you?
It's
Yeah,
like
but you know
selling your
what though?
soul. It's like selling your soul to the devil. It's exactly for me. And I don't know about you, Justin, but for me, it was like selling my soul to the devil.
I mean, at first it wasn't, but the longer I went into it, it's like I did.
Well, because when you first get into it, it's fun. It's cool. It's great. Oh, I
Yeah, it
feel
was a
so
lot of
fucking.
fun.
I feel for me, it was like I felt all the pressure was gone, all the stress was gone. But I always believed that there was a trade off. The trade
Yeah,
off doesn't come at the beginning. The trade off comes in the middle
yeah.
after you're hooked on it. And then you go, I don't know about you, but I know with me, I went for a period of about 4 or 5 days without it in the middle. And I knew then I'd sold my soul.
I was
Because
gonna say I never had withdrawals once in my life, but I had some horrible come downs from the Adderall and cocaine.
yeah,
I sleep for 24 hours straight.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me
Wow.
too.
but
You know
K
what?
Sean, your question you asked though, what would you tell somebody, not to do it or whatever? You know
Yeah.
what? The longer I'm almost 6 years clean now. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't tell anybody not to do it because it's like little kids. You tell them not to go get candy out the drawer, they gonna go get candy out the drawer. So I
That's right.
think for them, you got to tell them. You got to let them know your experience, what you went through, so
Ah.
they could kind of put themselves in your shoes and kind of see like. Because it's either you're going to end up in a box or you're going to end up in jail or you're going to come out and live. So, I mean, you got to pick which one you want.
Yeah,
Ah.
you're absolutely right because those are when you start a drug habit, and that's exactly what you're doing. You start a drug habit, and people will say, "Oh, well, Adderall's not addicting." Adderall's very addicting,
Very addicting.
very addicting. And I had an easier time getting off the cocaine than I did off the Adderall.
Adderall was horrible to come off of.
And you know what? I was on. I probably did cocaine for about 8 9 years.
Oh, you was on it way longer than I was.
Oh yeah, I was on it 8 9 years, and I'm going to tell you something that the difficult part of the whole. I don't think I slept for those 8 years. I don't think I slept
Yeah.
properly in 8 years. I mean, I would have dreams like crazy stuff that would be going on in my head while I'm sleeping.
Did you ever
And
like sit outside in the front yard and see stuff? Like you just like someone ran by and you're like,
it always once I got off of it, I started really having an appreciation for schizophrenics.
yeah, yeah.
Because,
I'm a schizoaffective.
well, here's the interesting part about it. Schizophrenics are not normal. They
Yeah,
see things, they hear things that the normal person doesn't hear or see.
yeah,
Does it mean that they're not there? Because I'll tell you something, when I was on drugs, I saw lots of shit. Awake
right.
and asleep. I would see people that I hadn't seen in years. People that I knew were dead were there. Okay. And this is where I don't know whether Keishan told you I was actually going to be a priest.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
not know that, but
yeah,
that's cool.
I was going to be a priest, and I always had a clear understanding that the world we see is the world we see with our eyes and with
Yeah,
our senses, but those senses are not real. What you see, smell, taste, touch are all just electrical signals being transcribed by your brain.
yeah,
They're not real. So the question comes is if that's not real, what is real? Well, you see, when the world we live in, we live with blinders on, like a horse.
yeah,
We see 6 inches in front of our face. We don't see any more than that. Well, when you go on drugs, whether it's mushrooms, whether it's acid, whether it's cocaine, whether it's Adderall, it doesn't matter. The blinders come off. Now you start to see, and the ego suppresses.
Interesting.
The
Very,
ego,
very
Yeah, that's
interesting.
crazy. That's
the
crazy.
ego suppresses. So now you see the world for what it truly is.
True.
So that person who died, and you just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there, because now all of a sudden they're there.
Yeah.
But because you had the blinders on, you can't see it,
True.
because we're trained to trust what we see. Seeing is believing.
Yeah.
But you see, when you're a drug addict, believing is seeing. When you start to believe, you start to see
Yeah.
the real truth. And this is the problem I had with the Catholic Church, is because I didn't figure I was getting the whole truth. I was getting a slanted view of what that was all about. Right? So for me, that trip down Cocaine Lane, which lasted me 8 years.
You took a journey.
I did take the journey. And you see, but around the same time, I gave up drugs. I gave up booze. I won't even smoke pot anymore. Okay. And
But
crack.
are you one of the recovering addicts though? Because I know some that quit doing cocaine and Adderall. They could drink, but I got a friend. Every time he drink, he don't have a problem with drinking. But if he drinks a beer, he want to go right back to heroin. For some reason, the alcohol triggers him to go right back, and he got no issues with drinking.
For me, I didn't have that problem. The problem with me in drinking is that I did shit that I wouldn't normally do if I was sober. Like I would become an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd become an asshole, and if I drank tequila, I want to fight. If I drink rye whiskey or bourbon, you know what? I'm chasing every girl in the house.
Right.
Okay. Well,
that's because dark liquor can make you do that.
Well, because it was okay when I was single, but I did that when I was married.
Oh, that's the problem.
Okay,
That's
and that
the problem.
Right. So when I decided that I was going to give up drinking, giving up drinking wasn't a problem for me.
So it's a lifestyle.
I just changed my lifestyle. Now, I will tell you, this has been a chore.
What is that? Yeah, I can't see it.
What is it?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
cigarettes.
Cigarettes have been a problem, and I can't seem to jump it. I know. I hear you, brother.
Hey,
I'm over here at my mama's house. Hey, yeah, I was gonna say I'm at my mama's house right now. I can't smoke, so I mean I'm with you though. I wish I could, but I take the laptop outside and smoke a cigarette.
Your mom doesn't. So congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
You're off.
Yeah, you too. That's 8 years though.
Yeah, for me it's
mine lasted about 2.5 years, and I think I caught mine before it really hit the addiction part. I think I was right here at that climb. I think if I would have went right there, it'd have been hell.
35 years for me, man.
That's crazy. Clean.
35 years.
Oh, congratulations!
That's like super dope. That's cool. Congrats.
35 years for that, and 30 years on drinking.
Wow,
that's good.
That's
congratulations.
Impressive. That's impressive. Yeah. Hey, when you have an addiction, do you replace it with another addiction?
Yeah, porn. No.
But you know, they have like an AA class for porn addiction. They got food addiction, porn addiction, gambling addiction. There's all classes just like AA, shopping addiction. It's crazy, Kishan. If you go out there and look at all these different things like AA, you'll be like, oh my God, they have porn addiction classes,
Wow. I figured you replace it with something. I mean, that's just my thinking, because if you're craving, I mean, if you have like I think we all have addictive personalities. Some of us are addicted to having our ego stroke. Some of us are addicted to
Yeah.
success. Some of us are addicted to fear. Like I think once that addiction goes away, or I think it's just replaced with other addictions. Addictions. I think when you're an addictive person, you're just addicted to everything, to different things. Excuse me.
You know what? I don't know about that because, I mean, I'm one of the. I'm 65 years old, and I think I've been addicted to every fucking thing you could possibly imagine. Okay.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I ran with the hookers, I ran with the strippers, did the porn, did the drugs, did the booze, did the running around with chicks, did all of it. Did all of it in my life. Okay. The honest thing that I can honestly say at this point in my life is that I learned so much about me. And you know
Right.
what? I'll tell you something. When you're that those in between times when you're sober and not stoned, that in between period, you do a lot of self-analyzing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
And
you're right.
you start realizing that you start looking at who you really are in all of this. And for me, it was always a situation. I was always looking at where the trail would end. And I'm very much like you, Justin. I knew I was either going to wind up in jail or wind up dead.
Yeah, and you know what? For me, like I don't like to talk about this issue a lot, because I promised somebody I wouldn't. But when I was the alcohol, or not the alcohol, the Adderall and cocaine didn't have me readjust in life. What taught me a lot about me, what I need and don't need, was marriage.
Yeah.
That's where I had that conversation to myself. Is you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
one wonderful person, great mother. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to talk about a situation that's in the past, but that's when I had that talk to myself when I was going through that last part of the marriage.
Well, and you know what? The interesting part about that is because I was married at the time too, and the interesting part about it is that you do this self-awareness, and you start doing this evaluation, and
Yeah.
it's scary when you know that the journey is going to end one of two places.
Yeah.
You're either going to kill somebody and wind up in prison,
Yeah.
or you're going to wind up in a park or in an alley somewhere dead.
You
Okay,
right.
and you
Well,
say,
y'all ever?
Are you gonna live and be 30 years clean like you?
you know what? I'm still shocked. I'm 30 years clean. I'm still shocked.
I'm shocked I'm 5.5 years clean.
Absolutely, because you know what? But it's funny because think about it. But you know what? When you're young, and I know when I was young, I would think to myself, I couldn't even imagine myself being 65.
Wow.
But I am. But you know what? I mean, you guys are young guys, and I still think like a 30-year-old.
Right.
So for me, this happened like yesterday.
Hey,
But
I
it
got a
wasn't. It was
question.
30 years ago.
I have a question. It's so crazy when I met you, Randy, and when I met you, Justin, and I started talking about your stories to other people, and they said, "Oh yeah, I did drugs too. I did this." I said, "What? You did? Wow! I didn't know that." I say I didn't know that as if I was supposed to know.
Right.
But the thing is, when someone does drugs, if it's weed, like here in where I live, fentanyl is a big thing, right? It's just
Everywhere.
and it's taking everybody out. But when you're doing drugs, do you conceive, hey, this could be my last hit? Justin or Randy, y'all both can answer that.
No, I didn't think that. I
Wow.
was always thinking this is going to be my best hit
Yes.
because you know what? When you're on cocaine, you're always chasing the monkey, right? You know what I mean by chasing the monkey?
It's the first high, isn't it?
Yeah, the first high is always the best one.
Hmm.
And after that, you're always chasing it. trying to get to that same point where you were at the first time, and you never get
Yeah,
there.
and they take more and more and more
And
and
you
more and
keep
more,
taking more and more and more
and you
until you
still never fucking get there.
no. So for me, it was more about I didn't think about I didn't think about dying when I was doing it. I was thinking about how good I'm going to feel when
Right.
this shit finally kicks in. And but you know what? It's never as good the second time around, and it just keeps
Wow.
getting worse and worse. And you keep taking more and more, hoping that you're going to get to that point, but you never get to. The human body adjusts to drugs very quickly.
Yeah.
This is why when you'll see people that take an antibiotic and they become septic like within days. Why? Because the antibiotic their body automatically adjusts to it.
Mm-hmm.
So drugs are something that's it doesn't belong in the human body.
Hmm.
True.
Okay.
Hmm.
And the irony of it is too is that you were talking about fentanyl, but fentanyl, cocaine, heroin, these are all government controlled substances. Okay, these are all manufactured by pharmaceutical companies.
Hmm.
So if we have a company like Glaxo Pharmaceutical and Novofarm, which manufacture they both manufacture cocaine. Okay, Novofarm, and the word Novofarm because Novocaine is what they give you when you go into the dentist office.
Yeah.
That's just cocaine. Okay, how does it manage to get out on the streets? Well, if especially if it's a controlled substance, it's obviously not controlled very good. You know,
Right. Right. Right.
so but then you start looking deeper into it. I mean, what was the Vietnam War about? It was about heroin. It was financially supported by Glaxo Pharmaceuticals. Okay, so you take all these great soldiers who go over to war, and they're fighting for freedom. They're not fighting for freedom. They're fighting for cocaine or for heroin.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's a sin. So when I started going down that rabbit hole and I started looking at it, to me, and this is why I found mushrooms were always, and even to this day, I'll still microdose magic mushroom because it's
Does
not.
it help you though?
Oh fuck yeah,
Yeah. I've
yeah.
heard a
No,
lot of I heard a lot of good things about it,
they've been doing a lot of work on microdosing LSD. Okay, um, and the only reason why I don't microdose LSD anymore is because I don't like the aftertaste.
Hmm.
The aftertaste is really vile, and it's one of those things. When you burp, you get that fucking stench in your mouth and you can't get rid of it. You ever
A
had
Yeah.
that?
sulfur.
Yeah,
It's like a sulfur.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
you're talking about.
exactly right. So, but psilocybin, which is the um, psilocybin is the product inside of magic mushroom. The beautiful part about it is you take a small bit, microdose, and it takes you into it opens up those frames in your brain
Yeah.
that are normally closed. Now those creative functions start working. So for me, I when I need to get overly creative, I'll do a little bit of magic mushroom.
Let me
Um,
ask
That's
you
what I.
something, Randy. I've never done mushrooms or anything that gets you alter your mind like LSD and stuff. I met a girl on Facebook like years ago. She lived in Mississippi. She was cool, so I flew down there to go meet her in person to hang out, and we had a great time when I was down there. But the first night we're there, we got drunk, we partied. She popped mushrooms, and she said the reason why she popped them is because she wanted to feel my energy and the vibrations and stuff. Like, is that really true?
Absolutely.
That's so crazy.
You know what? It's interesting because they've been using magic mushroom, psilocybin, since the third century.
Yeah.
Okay. Ayahuasca has been used since the third century. So these drugs have been used. They were used during the time of the Catholic Church. during the regime of of Constantine, Julius Caesar, all through that whole period to now. Okay, and they've stood the test of time. Even something like peyote.
Oh yep.
Another,
I'm
it's
from
another.
Vegas. So I know about peyote.
Well,
Yeah, guys.
because peyote grows out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but the interesting part,
We would call them a cactus party.
it is. That's exactly what it is. But you see,
Yeah.
people use it as a party drug. I don't use it as a party drug. So what I do is I take a little bit, and it alters my brain, and it takes the blinders off. Okay, and my ego now subsides. Okay, your ego is there to keep you safe, and Kashan, I told you this. The whole idea of the ego is to keep you safe. It's to keep you from not running or jumping out a window.
Right.
It's to keep you from not running in front of a car. Okay, it will stop you from doing that. So when you take psilocybin or you take peyote or ayahuasca, what it does is it suppresses the ego. So now the ego doesn't keep you safe for that period of time, but it allows you to start to see the world through a different set of eyes. Okay, that the truth that you start to see is what the real truth is, not the truth that everybody told you was.
I have a question. What are some, because for me, I'm not going to take a drug to bring out my creativity. What else? What are some alternatives that you can suggest? Because I'm not going to take a cactus and I'm not going to do the other stuff, but at the same time, I still need to be creative for what I do.
A lot of people smoke weed.
I mean, I'm not smoking no damn weed.
No, I know that, but I say that a lot of people, that's what they do. Like,
A lot of people do smoke weed.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
know
say.
that.
I had a friend go get a medical marijuana card in Vegas, and his reason by the doctor was he can't pay unless if he's high, and they gave him a card.
The only other thing I could recommend to you is practice. It's funny. I had my nephew, and my brother's son, and played the piano from the time he was 4, and he was okay when he was about 10, 11, 12 years old. Practiced every day.
Yeah.
Okay? And he was an okay pianist. Okay. One day he takes magic mushroom. That day, he plays like Mozart. He went from being an average pianist to Mozart because the blinders came off. The inability and all the worry of what people think and everything else went away. And now he played like a master.
So
That's
is that a
crazy.
form of we, thank you, Justin, for joining us for this
Oh
enlightening.
yeah, I appreciate you letting me come in though.
This enlightening drug conversation or enhancement conversation. Hey,
No, this is a very detailed one.
very
Well,
detailed.
I don't want to be the guy who endorses this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're not endorsing it.
No.
I want to clarify that, Randy.
Yeah, no,
Justin.
I'm not endorsing it. You look, I take a very little bit. Like very little bit. Okay. It's called microdosing for a reason. Okay. I don't party drug anymore. Okay? Because I'm sure.
Okay, Sean, this is the educational purposes.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Look,
There we go. I feel better now.
absolutely. Look, some people drink. Some people smoke pot.
Mhm.
Some people drop acid. Some people do other things. Whatever it is that you do, you do. Okay? Everybody is trying to feel better.
Okay.
Every Justin, am I right or not?
No, you're right, and it doesn't matter like what you're addicted to. Like an addiction's addiction. It don't matter what you're addicted to. It's all the same thing.
It is all the same thing.
Yeah.
You know? Now, am I glad that I don't do drugs anymore? Fuck yeah, absolutely.
Oh hell yeah. Fuck that.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't want to go
I'm
back.
so glad that's behind me. And you know what? I have a wonderful wife. I've got 4 great kids, and you know what? None of them do drugs, thank God. You know, they all work, they all got jobs, they all happy kids. And so I look at that and I think to myself, well, you know what? I probably did something right in my life. But you know, do I recommend people do this? No, of course not.
You want to
It-
hear something cool? I'm not going to show you the name, but I forwarded the live to a couple of people. Look at the comment. It says, "You ain't got to be high to be creative."
You're right.
I like that. I like that.
And you don't
That's the
have
message that I just got. A message I just got on Messenger. So that I don't want to show the name, but
Nah, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that because I don't want us to come across as if we are endorsing enhancements to tap into our creativity. However, I
no.
am aware that enhancements does make your creativity more ripen, and you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I get it, I get it. But I know there has to be other things out there to enhance your creativity other than a synthetic drug.
I don't
Here,
know. Some
I'm
people
going to give it to
drink
you right now.
tea. You know.
I'm going to give it to you right now. Smile. You see, when you smile, your endorphins start to rise.
He right.
Okay, when you can't feel bad when you're smiling. Okay, you can't feel bad when you're smiling. You know, Kishan, I've told you this. You know, you're a handsome guy. You got a
Appreciate
wonderful
it.
looking smile. You know, and Justin, you've got a handsome smile.
Thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate a compliment.
yeah. Well, please, because and don't get me wrong, it's not a gay thing,
No,
but
I know. I'm just
all right, I just want to
respect.
make it clear. But you see, the thing is that what I'm saying to you is that when you smile, now you can be creative. It's very difficult to be happy when you're sad.
I
That is
got
true.
I got one more right here. It says laughter also sends oxygen to the brain, which can enhance creativity, increase blood flow, and even help us stay awake.
There you go.
There
That's
you go.
very good
Now you
too.
know what
And you know what? That's absolutely correct.
I wish the people who are sending you these messages could actually put these in the chat so people could see these later on after the show because that's what I really want. You know, I just want those alternatives. Those natural alternatives. Like you touched on Randy smiling. Then someone sent you a message, laughter. And let me tell you something. I laugh like hell. Man,
Hell yeah, me
I
too.
put on Kevin Hart. Man, I'm done. Stomach is. I love it. So I think that's definitely a way to enhance our creativity because all three of us we do work that we need our creativity to thrive.
Here's
Yeah,
another one for
I
you.
like that though. You know what I mean? Like the
Listen,
one you gotta smile. You don't have to be high to be creative. You know, you just smile, gets the
just
endorphins, like
smile,
Randy said.
be laughing, okay? And here's even a better one than that. Put on some great music.
Yeah.
Like put on really great music, whatever turns your crank. For me, it's like Billy Joel and Elton John and Burton Cummings. You probably never heard of him, but you know what? These are old singers from the day. And you know,
Yeah.
when I listen to Crocodile Rock by Elton John, it takes me back to when I was 16 years old, sitting in the Blue Diamond restaurant, pushing the jukebox in the at the that's at the table. You know the ones I'm talking about, and it reminds me of that, and it reminds me of a very happy time in my life. So music has a way of taking you back to a place where you're happy, and you know what? It's very easy to be creative from that position.
And K Sean, that's what we're speaking about too. We're not speaking like you got to get high to be creative. Like
Now,
when we went through our addictions,
Mm-hmm.
That's how we felt at the time, and
That's right.
like Randy just say over time you come back and you get your mind back together where you don't have to use things like that. You could be creative naturally.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, for me,
Mm-mm.
um, and it's a very casual thing for me. It may be a
Yeah.
once a month thing. It might be a once every couple of months. It's just when I feel like it. It's not an addiction.
I have a friend that's been through so much really, really bad trauma that microtherapy is the only thing that is like helping them heal, which
But
is
you see,
crazy because I'm
but
just
there's
like,
nothing wrong with
I never knew
microtherapy.
that.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I'll tell you something. Microtherapy has proven time and time again to help with a variety of conditions.
Hmm.
Okay. And so, like I said, it's not that I put a lot of stock in it, but sometimes, you know what, you need a little boost. And so I do it. Some people will drink.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people have a glass of whiskey to do it. Me, I maybe take a little bit of magic mushroom and maybe that'll do it.
Okay, Sean, I got a question for you. Have you ever been offered any kind of drugs in your life?
Yes, I have.
As somebody who's never done drugs before, what made you say no? Did you ever feel like I want to try them? Let's do it, see what it feel like. What kept you from saying no?
That's a great question. And in the back of my mind, I did think about, hey, what would happen if I did it? Not the bad way, but also the good way. Like, okay, how would I feel if I did this? But I will say, although I never done drugs, I've been around people who smoke weed and got high from contact.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I know that's not the type of high that y'all talking about, but it was a high enough for me where I was like, okay, this is interesting. But I just
Yeah.
did, I just it wasn't my jam really. I remember this guy, he offered me some e-pills, and it was like, huh, let's do this. I was like, nah, it just wasn't my thing. Now, do I drink? Yeah, I'll drink. That's my
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess if my friends did it, I may have done the same thing, but I wasn't
Yeah.
that wasn't my core of friends.
That's
So
cool.
we occasionally we took a shot here, shot there, and that's it.
Well, it's
I
funny.
got I got another response right here too. Basically, your mind is like a scientific laboratory. So think of it as a scientist because in general scientific ways, enhance creativity and it's known to instill the champion mindset.
Good. And it
I'm
does.
just I'm just reading them as they come through my messenger. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I appreciate
We're
that.
getting a
Thank
lot
you.
of good stuff though.
We're getting a lot of good stuff. And, the
Yeah.
feedback is really great. I know with myself, I had somebody offer me crack cocaine one time. And
Never did that, but it's very
I
close
was
to
so
cocaine.
terrified. I was so terrified because I was afraid that I would take one hit and I'd be hooked.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
what they make it seem like though.
Well, because that was all the rave back in the day, right? They'd say, well, all you have to do with crack cocaine is just take one hit and that's it. You're going to be
Yeah.
hooked for life. And so that always scared me because I always figured that I had more control over cocaine than that, which
Yeah.
I probably didn't. It was probably just in my own mind. But regardless of that, that was something that always scared me. So things like heroin, um, they were always bad drugs.
I have a friend I
Okay.
met in rehab and he was cocaine. He did like you say, what was he smoking? Not he was doing crack. He
Yeah.
had he had a little under 5 years. He had one little coke, just smoked just a little bit. Ain't nobody know where he at now.
And that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I don't know that that's how.
Nobody can find him. I'm
Well,
talking. It's like 50 people looking for him. No,
yeah,
he out there. He out there in La La Land, running through the streets again.
Damn.
Yeah,
it's wild because you know what? Like I said, I can't speak for everybody. I just know with myself that
yeah.
the whole
Excuse
thing
me.
just got out of control. It got out of control before I had a chance to get control of it.
Yeah,
Okay, it had me, and I didn't even know it until it was too late. So for
yeah.
me, that's my story, and I'm sure there are other people that have the same kind of story as I do, but you know, I look at it 30 years, 35 years without it. I just don't need it anymore.
Well,
Okay.
I appreciate that, and the time is drawing near. It's almost 8 o'clock, and I'm loving this conversation. God knows I can keep talking about this because you're right. This is
Yeah.
education. This is the
Yeah.
raw form of education, and I think if we moved away from the cookie cutter PSA of just say no to drugs, but talk about talk about the ups of drugs. Like I did it because I freaking liked it. I enjoyed it, but also talk about the downs as well and talk about the outcomes of using it. So I think these type of conversations are very, very, very helpful.
Yeah, but you made a
And
good point though. How you say don't do drugs, don't do this, don't drink and drive. When you go to DUI class, they show you actual footage of some of these wrecks with the people inside and how they look. That's the kind of stuff they need to put on TV for these kids
yeah,
in high school and stuff, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, you know, it's all well and good to get the information from an ex-addict. That's
Yeah,
all.
he's right
You know
though.
what? That's your story. That's my story. That's Joe Blow's story. Does it really have any impact? But when you see somebody laying in the gutter, okay, and they're seconds away from their life ending,
Yeah.
okay, that image will haunt you.
You're right. You're
That
right.
image will haunt you. And, hopefully it will, from this conversation today, I'm really hoping that there at least one person out there that's listening that
Yeah.
heed our words,
Yeah.
because
But
I wouldn't wish that
just
on
like I
anybody.
said earlier, every time you say you don't do something, a person will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, I
yeah.
appreciate all the messages you were sending me too. I don't know if you're leaving them live on the video like Kashan say, so people could go back and read it. But I appreciate you guys for sending different thoughts, concerns, and stuff like that. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and conclude this. Like I said, just out of respect for everyone's time. Randy was running a little bit behind, but thank you, Randy, for joining us.
Listen, I'm so
Uh,
sorry I was late. I was coming in from Toronto and the traffic was bad coming in.
it's okay. It's okay. Hey, Justin, where could our viewers and listeners connect with you?
They can find me, on Instagram at Justin Kase photo. You can check me out on the website justincasephotography.com. That's Case with a K. And then my nonprofit, Addicts with Voice. My website should be here within the next week. Addictswithvoice.org. So you can find me anywhere. Instagram, Addicts with Voice. You just don't call my damn phone. That's for friends.
Hey, Randy, where could our viewers and listeners connect with you?
The nearest alley. No. They can reach me through my website at www.fearlessmarketer.com. I'm on all the social media channels from TikTok to YouTube to Facebook. Just look up Fearless Marketer. You'll find me there. Or you can email me at randy@fearlessmarketer.com. Just don't call me.
Cool.
Okay.
I had a good time. Thank you for bringing me on. And Randy, it's nice to finally meet you. I
Yeah,
had fun.
you too, brother. It was really nice.
Yeah. Thank
All
you,
right,
Kishan. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Justin. Hey, Champion Nation. This has been a very unique conversation and very inspiring and educational. Please share this video with someone that that you may know who's
Indeed.
in need. Substance misuse. We all need someone to help us, and it may not be your voice, but it may be the voice of Justin and the voice of Randy. Thank you so much, Champion Nation. Have a
Thank
wonderful,
you.
wonderful week. Take care.